Well, part of BT Group's wider business strategy is to invest and build both the UK's #1 fixed and mobile network. And that takes a huge amount of investment, and obviously MVNO is all about mobile. We're responsible for wholesaling the mobile network. And why do we do that? Well, really, it's about ensuring we maximise the return on that investment. It's a huge investment, and without MVNO, we would not be able to get the additional revenues to maximise that market share and reduce that overall cost per unit on our network. It also allows us to tap into parts of the market where, frankly, BT in its own retail business wouldn't be able to reach. So that could be an MVNO that's focusing on the international sector. So people who've come to the UK are now living here and want to call back home. Or it could be a global IoT player. So BT is not part of a wider group. We're one network in the UK. So it's hard for us to compete in those global propositions, but there's massive growth in those global propositions, particularly in the connected car market. So again, it's a great way for us to access into those markets which our retail business just would not be able to touch. Well, first of all, I think MVNOs should, and actually they are, becoming more conscious that their own customers are becoming more aware and more demanding of their network customer experience. Now, this is really pleasing for us because it's part of our strategy. It's why we've invested to build the UK's #1 fixed and mobile network. And I guess it's great that others are recognising that and are coming to us as opposed to some of our competitors, so they can offer that service to their own customers. In terms of other trends that they should be aware of, there's some good trends out there which will be a benefit to MVNOs. First of all, the whole digital transformation. So we're all talking about digitalisation. MVNOs are in a really, really good place to capitalise on this because they've got the flexibility, the agility to deliver those solutions to their customers. And ultimately, as well as giving the customer what they want, a digital journey, it's also more cheap than the traditional ways of acquiring and managing and operating a customer. In addition to that convergence, so in the UK we're probably under-indexed versus some of the other European countries, but it's growing and it's growing quickly. And I think anyone who's just selling fixed or just selling mobile really needs to think about whether that's a good place to be. And from a BT Wholesale perspective, the good news is that we can not only provide MVNO, but we can also provide a wholesale fixed service as well. And if customers don't recognise that, then ultimately they're going to be in a shrinking market as more and more of those customers go converged. Then in a slightly separate part of the market, in IoT, continues to be a hot topic. We spoke about it a lot yesterday here at the conference. It's a market that continues to grow. We're seeing it grow. And I think anyone who's got a capability in this space should be looking at IoT as a potential new revenue stream. As we see more and more devices being connected, that's only going to continue to grow. And we're seeing it both locally in the UK and globally. And BT's definitely got a role to play in that, and wholesale is critically important because there's no way that BT, from a retail perspective, would be able to serve that increasing amount of demand. It's interesting. So MVNO has traditionally been about the consumer market sector and supporting consumer brands to market with a mobile proposition. And that continues to be a big part of the market, the biggest part of the market. And it's still growing. So we're still seeing growth not only in the number of subscribers, but more and more we're enabling our MVNOs to operate in the higher ARPU space. So we're seeing increase not only in subscribers, but also in ARPUs, and you put those things together, and we're seeing some really, really good growth from our partners. And overall, as a business, we're seeing double-digit growth at the moment, and we actually expect that to accelerate. We're going to see some big MVNOs onboarded from other MNOs on the network this year, so we'll see some big step change. So the consumer market continues to grow, and I'm really pleased that we're taking a bigger and bigger share in it. And again, that's more and more MVNOs recognising the importance of a good network experience. Beyond consumer, we're seeing lots of momentum in two other sectors, the enterprise sector and the IoT sector. On the enterprise sector, we've again seen new brands launched to market like Plan.com. We've got Truphone, who've migrated across from their incumbent onto our network. And for an enterprise MVNO, it really gives them a chance to differentiate against the standard reseller model, so they can offer a really, really good customer experience under their own brand, so they get all that brand value back versus the reseller model where they're typically selling a branded proposition, which the customer associates more with the MNO as opposed to the reseller. And then finally on IoT, and we all know IoT is a massive growth market. We're seeing big growth in IoT, and BT is a UK-only operation. We have one network. We do support IoT business in the UK. We have lots of resellers and aggregators, and that's growing. But on top of that, for us, to access the global market, we work with players such as Truphone, such as Transitel, such as Cubic Telecom, and they're putting some really exciting propositions together, working with people like EasyJet, BMW, Audi, and it's great that we can access that market and get that traffic on that network, on our network, through those wholesale partners.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Well, one of the benefits of being in BT Wholesale and a completely ring-fenced wholesale business unit from the rest of our retail colleagues is that we've got our own dedicated resources, and those resources include commercial functions, sales functions, marketing functions, finance functions, but also CapEx. So we're able to decide where we need to place our resources, but ultimately that's within wholesale, and we're not having to compete versus the retail business. So it enables us to get more stuff done, and we choose where we're going to place our bets within the wholesale market. I think on top of that, we're really lucky, and it's a privilege and an honour to sell such an amazing mobile network. The EE network has taken a huge amount of investment by our network colleagues, and it continues to be the #1 network in the UK. Initially on 4G, but now we're moving on to 5G. Our data speeds on average are up to 4 times faster than some of our competitors. We've got 5G now covering 68% of the population in the UK, but we're not stopping there. The idea is to make 5G the #1 network for people when they're on the move. And so by 2028, we'll be at 90% of the whole geography. We're also the best network for connected cars in the UK, and it's been really exciting to see some of that investment that we've played in the network shown in a recent Umlaut survey, which basically said we were 28% better than some of our competitors for data success whilst on the UK roads. And that's not by accident, it's also due to our investment in the UK's emergency services network. So this is a contract we have with the UK Home Office to support the UK police, fire and ambulance service, and that's really targeting roads for obvious reasons, but all of our customers benefit from that, be them consumers, but also if you think about IoT applications like connected cars, there's only one place for a connected car player to be, and that's on the EE network in the UK. But ultimately, it's down to our customers who recognise the importance of our network and what it means to their business in terms of more sales, less churn, higher ARPUs, and what I enjoy the most is seeing how they take our network, they build their propositions on it, and drive growth with innovation in the market. They're much more flexible, and they can deliver things much more quickly. So ultimately, our success is driven by them. So first off, as always, I've always enjoyed it as a great networking event. So it's a great chance to catch up with lots of different contacts, so existing customers, potential new customers. It's good to see what other MVNOs around the world are doing with their propositions and how they're going to market. And it's really interesting to see how the vendor community are changing and predominantly moving from or into a more digital environment for their solutions. For me, this year's been also really good to see a bit of a focus on women in the industry. So if we all look around, I think if we're honest with ourselves, there's probably not enough women. So the panel today was really good to have that topic being discussed. Looking forward to the award later. I think there's a Women in MVNO award, and I think that should just be the start. It'd be great to kind of build on that and see some more momentum at the conferences and from the MVNO community around the world also.